Okay, so I think I got a solution here to the wear issue. Um, this is that degree indicator that we were talking about before, or I guess it's the base for it. And it's on the inside of this assembly that the raise and lower shaft pushes the brass slugs out and locks against. Now this stuff is super soft. This is pot metal. It feels about as soft as copper actually. I can just take a standard cold chisel and I can actually just shave shavings off of it just by hand. So that tells you a bit about how soft the stuff is. So I started off with just a standard filed off the burrs that were on the inside there. Grabbed a 60 grit flat disc, ran it through, and roughed it up nice. Then I found a piece of tubing. Turns out this is EMT, I think 3/4 inch. And sandblasted the outside so we'll get some good gription on the outside here. And then I cleaned the inside up real well with another smaller flap wheel. And I just wanted to make sure that the weld seam, for example, and any rust or anything that could give those brass slugs a problem were gone. And we're just going to slide one inside the other. The only caveat being that the way this locks is, of course, by friction against this sleeve. And if our sleeve here turns, then it doesn't matter how well we lock against our sleeve. We're still not going to have any locking relative to the saw body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use a hard setting forma gasket. Preferably I would actually use Loctite material, a purple Loctite. But the clearance is, I think, a little too much for it. And I'm worried that it's just not going to set up properly. So I'm going to go with a hard setting gasket. If that fails, maybe I'll order in something. And you can see here I left this about a 64th proud. What I plan to do is once that gasket material is in there, but before it is completely hardened, I am going to take this ball bearing and maybe the point of this little anvil or something to that effect and flare out these two edges, these two ends. And I hope that I can flare them out so that they fix tight against these bosses that are on the end of this assembly without actually cracking them. So fingers crossed. But that's the plan, and I have no idea really if this is going to work. I'm definitely adding quite a bit of material in here, probably adding over a 1/16 of an inch total. So hopefully that's okay, but there is still quite a bit of clearance with the shaft, right? We still have probably close to 1/8 of an inch of clearance in there. So I think we'll be okay. I think, I'm not certain. So anyways, yeah, that's the plan. Let's see if it works. So that's a good sign. I think we got it through there pretty well. You guys know about this trick, right? You can keep sealants and gasket makers and whatnot. You can keep them going for, well, as long as their shelf life allows. But just taking a little bit of Vaseline here. Just cover the end. And then put the cap on. Well, this will keep surprisingly well. You can see it's a great little tip, especially with like RTVs. That saves a lot of RTV that way. This stuff. So the swaging is working. It's just I've got quite a bit of distance to pick up here. Okay, that's set in there pretty good now. I think we're okay. I think it's gonna work. Ha! Fingers crossed. I'd say famous last words, but I don't know anyone famous. Okay, it's in there. We'll see. I'll let this set fully, and then I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Paint it again, and yeah, we'll see. Okay, it's a little later now, and as you can see, I've filed this flat, and this is swaged in place. And so far, so good. Got a little burr there I got to take off, but yeah, as long as the clearance is good, as long as that I didn't muck that up, as long as it's not too tight in there, I think this is going to be a good win. So I'll throw this through the blast cabinet, repaint it, and yeah, onward and upward.